Good morning. It's Sunday the 4th of May 2025 and today I'm in the city of Bristol. Now I'm standing right beside the River Avon. This bit is the Cumberland Basin, so I'm going to be walking up towards Clifton today. I walked along the waterside path towards the Clifton Bridge, a large swing bridge completed in 1965, with an older, disused swing bridge lying beneath it. Welcome to Brunel's Swivel Bridge. Well, I won't read all of this. The Swivel Bridge is Brunel's first large rotating wrought iron opening bridge and is older than the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Designed in 1849 by staff in Brunel's Westminster office, it became operational in October the same year. It was designed to carry traffic over the new South Entrance Lock, or Brunel's Lock, in the Cumberland Basin, which was under construction at the time. In 1872 to 1873, the bridge was shortened and relocated to its present position over the North Entrance Lock, also known as the Howard's Lock. The bridge was decommissioned in 1968 after construction of the Plimsoll Bridge, part of the new Cumberland Basin road system. Just up there in the background, you can see part of the Clifton Suspension Bridge, and that's where I'm heading today. Let's go. I headed into Hotwells, which takes its name from the hot springs that bubble up through the rocks of the Avon Gorge underneath the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Now this part of Bristol is called Hotwells, and I'm walking in Dowry Square, a really beautiful little square. And I do remember that Bristol's got lots of little squares like this. That's what makes the city so characteristic. Okay, I'll just walk around here and I'll be climbing up towards Clifton. So when I was living in Portishead and started my very first job in 1982, I used to commute from Portishead by bus to Bristol. So the bus always used to go through Hotwells and then on into the city centre, and from there I actually would walk up to Clifton, which is where my job was based at the time. I worked in a card shop for 6 weeks. We won't go in past that part of Clifton today, but we'll be exploring a lot more other interesting parts of Clifton. So here we are then, look at this. This is Windsor Terrace. What a fantastic part, eh? As I continued to climb, I soon approached the longest crescent in Europe. And this is Royal York Crescent in Clifton. Absolutely fantastic. Some really beautiful old houses around here. And I think Royal York Crescent is probably one of the most famous crescents in Bristol. Absolutely fantastic. Royal York Crescent is nearly 400 metres long and is known for its Georgian architecture and sweeping views. Get some fantastic views from the houses up here as well. Just past the trees here, to see over the tops of the roofs, and you can see towards South Bristol. Can't quite see the Cumberland Basin from here, but got some fantastic views nevertheless. And I'm sure, I may be wrong, but I'm sure it's Royal York Crescent, where quite a few famous people have lived before now, and may still live, who knows. Okay. Reaching the end of Royal York Crescent, I dropped down the steps onto Wellington Terrace, heading towards one of Bristol's absolute gems. Okay, I am now standing directly in front of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Look at that, absolutely amazing. The Clifton Suspension Bridge. This world-famous bridge was designed by Isambard's Kingdom Brunel, 1806 to 1859, the chief engineer of the Great Western Railway and the designer of the SS Great Britain, now preserved in the former Bristol City docks. Work on the supporting piers, which started in 1831, was halted when funds ran out. The final design was modified by members of the Institution of Civil Engineers before the completion of the bridge in 1864 as a memorial to Brunel. Well, my walk takes me over there, so I don't actually need to cross the Clifton Suspension Bridge, but let's take a closer look at it anyway. I made my way towards the first tower, intending to cross the historic toll bridge. However, as I reached the edge of the bridge deck, suspending high across the gorge, I discovered a problem. Well, I've got a confession to make. I literally cannot cross the Clifton Suspension Bridge. It is so high. I stepped onto it just there where people are walking now, but I had a bit of a dizzy spell. I just suddenly thought, wow, this is high, because you just got it suspended over the Avon Gorge, and it really is high. And I just found I couldn't do it. So luckily my walk doesn't take me across the bridge. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I would have liked to have crossed the bridge. As I say, it wasn't necessary anyway, but I literally cannot do it. I didn't think I'd actually be suffering from heights, but I am. There you go. Oh well, never mind. I'm close to it anyway, so I'll just get on and carry on my walk now then. There it is. Another great view of the suspension bridge from here. Well, despite not being able to cross it, it's certainly a beautiful bridge. It really is. It's got to be one of the UK's finest bridges, really. And there is an even better view of the bridge. Look at that, absolutely wonderful. So there it is, one final look before I move on. It certainly is a wonderful bridge. It's just a real shame that I couldn't cross it. But from here you can see how high it is. So perhaps you can understand my reasons. It's not like I'm going to fall off it though, is it? But there you go. Okay, I'll move on now then. Clifton Camp, protecting the archaeology. Throughout most of the 19th century, Clifton Down was close cropped by grazing sheep. Mowers gradually took over the work of the sheep, except on the slopes of the Iron Age hill fort, where it is difficult to mow. The woodland quickly became established. The slopes are now overgrown and tree roots are damaging the hill fort, a scheduled ancient monument. As landowner, Bristol City Council is obliged by law to take action to preserve the archaeology. So this is Clifton Observatory. So there's a giant's cave, which is literally just under where I'm standing, and then you get another view over the Avon Gorge and the Suspension Bridge. And also you've got the camera obscura here too. Okay, I'll start making my way back now. I'm just heading into Clifton Village. So as I mentioned earlier, my very first job was in Clifton. Not in Clifton Village where I am now, it was in a part of Clifton that was close to the city centre. But I worked in a card shop. So when I was living in Portishead, I used to commute by bus from Portishead into Bristol city centre, then walk up to Clifton from there. Sometimes I got a lift from someone else who lived in Portishead, but most of the time I used to go by bus. So yeah, I lasted for 6 weeks in that card shop. I absolutely hated it. The lady that ran it, the manageress as we used to call them at the time, she was Mrs. Battle, who couldn't be appropriately more named, because I used to call her Mrs. Battleaxe. Not to her face. But yeah, she was horrible. She was just a horrible woman. Bearing in mind it was my very first job, I was really naive, only a few months out of school, and I used to work really hard for her. I used to take all the cards off the shelves and clean all the shelves for her, and she wasn't even paying me. I was paid by the Manpower Services Commission. So I lasted 6 weeks because I just had enough. She was just horrible, and she only ever criticised what I did. She never said anything good, bearing in mind how hard I worked for her. Not that I'm bitter about it after all these years. She's probably not around anymore. So, but yeah, that's my memories of my very first job. Okay, so I'm now going to walk into Clifton Village itself now, have a look round. Welcome to Mall Gardens. These are public gardens. We hope that you enjoy these gardens, which are open for the use and enjoyment of all. A short history of Mall Gardens. The Mall Gardens are bounded by the Mall at the eastern end, one of Clifton's thriving thoroughfares, and to the western end, the Avon Gorge and the Clifton Suspension Bridge. So this is the Mall then. Really lovely part of Clifton. Well, I think Clifton Village is just a really lovely part of Bristol. So, yeah, still a very popular place, clearly. It's like a separate village really from Bristol. Okay.
So what was the rush?
From the Mall, I made my way eastwards towards one of Bristol's many delightful squares and green spaces. So, Victoria Square then. So this path literally cuts diagonally across it. Well, it's been many years since I've been in Clifton in Bristol. And I've said this in a lot of places before now, I know, but I hadn't forgotten, but just sort of coming back here today has re-established how lovely I think Clifton is. Yeah, what a fantastic place. Beyond Victoria Square, I passed along Birdcage Walk, a beautiful pathway through the old St Andrew's churchyard. Just love all these alleyways and nooks and crannies around Clifton. Absolutely fantastic. There's probably still parts of Clifton I've never seen before. Wow. So yeah. So anyway, going back to that job I did in Clifton my very first job working in the card shop. After the 6 weeks, I decided I'd had enough and I got another job and that was based in Avonmouth. So when I worked there, that was also a manpower services commission scheme. Oop, mind the branches. But I was a lot happier there. It was a lot different because rather than just working in one place, I was a trainee with loads of others, and we used to do things like learning how to do building maintenance, woodwork, and we also did placements as well. So, but yeah, so like commuting from Portishead to Bristol to come to my job in Clifton, I ended up commuting by bus from Portishead to Avonmouth, so that was a lot easier actually. And I was there for nearly a year, so that wasn't too bad. And then after that, I got another job in Bristol. That's when I started working for Avon County Council in 1984. So, as before, I commuted from Portishead to Bristol. So yeah, when I was at Avon County Council until it basically was abolished in 1996. Starting to descend now, so I'm slowly making my way back towards Hotwells. Back in Hotwells, I headed towards the Cumberland Basin again to cross the Junction Lock swing bridge. So I'm crossing over the swing bridge now, back at the Cumberland Basin. So my car's just over there. So a lovely short walk around Bristol. Clifton is lovely. It's just a shame that I couldn't cross the bridge. One of those things, but at least I got a close-up look at it. So that's good enough for me.